I'm gonna need you to remain still. Hello?
Not only are you acting and directing on Insidious, The Red Door, you also sang the end credits song, a cover of
Yeah.
Shakespeare's Day with metal band Ghost. Tell me about that.
Well, I wanted to sing on the soundtrack. I thought it would want a singer, and I the kinds of movies that this movie references a lot of movies to me that meant something, not necessarily horror movies. And the kinds of movies that I grew up on, specifically even the horror movies in the 80s, always had a great soundtrack. I used to love the band Dokken when they sang on Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And I knew I couldn't really cover that song because I don't think people would quite get it, although Dream Warriors is pretty appropriate for Insidious. And so I was looking for a song that just meant something thematically. Blumhouse had a relationship with Ghost because they did Hunter's Moon on Halloween. I'm a massive Ghost fan. And so I've been talking with Tobias Forge and also of Ghost, and also with their label of what could we do, knowing the constraints of time and money and all that kind of stuff. And this was a song, and when I told them the themes that I wanted to explore, not just give me a cool song for the ending, I said, I really want it lyrically to make sense. It was a process, took many months, and I got news for you. I did it behind everyone's back, really. My music supervisor knew about it, but I didn't tell Sony, I didn't tell any of those people, because I knew I was working within my budget. So that was sort of what I said. Hey, I asked my music supervisor, I said, how much are they giving you? He told me the number. I said, great, we'll stay within that, but I'm going to do what I want with that money. Because I knew it would be cool. It would be a much different thing, work thematically. And Ghost had already had this song recorded, but it hasn't come out yet. So I said, what if I sang on it as well? And Tobias had the idea, because it's really two people singing in the original version. So it made such perfect sense. Tobias was game for it. Nobody knows branding better than Tobias Forge of Ghost. So he got it. It's this great melding of worlds. I think music and horror goes so well together. Certainly metal does, as does hip hop. Got Destroy Lonely on the soundtrack as well. So music is a vital part of my life. And so we sang it, and I went for it. So I think it's cool. It'll be released next week.
It's really cool. And on the subject of music, an unexpected one for you next. I actually interviewed Slash earlier today, and he told me to say hi because apparently you are old pals.
Yeah, love that guy. Yeah, oh man, he's incredible. He's also a massive horror fan, and he's certainly producing horror. And I would love to work with him. If you told my 16-year-old self that this conversation would have just happened and Slash said hello, my jaw would drop to the floor. So he is a great dude. Did you read his biography several years ago? His book is fantastic.
When did you meet? He didn't mention where you met.
We met probably, I guess, in maybe 2016 or so, when they first got back together and did the big stadium tour, and I wanted to go see the show. And then as I reached out, I realized, oh God, he would love to meet you. He's a big horror fan, and we talked about that was a project we might have even worked together on, and I would love to work with him. So we've just stayed friends and communicate. And he's incredible. I also I graduated from high school in 1991. So when Appetite came out, I'm a massive fan. So it started with that, but I really love that he's a constant, he's the epitome of an artist, constantly searching for new things, new enterprises and stuff that he loves to do. So great dude.
It was such a pleasure to chat to you, Patrick. So thanks so much.
You too. I love we just talked about music. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
The further you travel, the riskier the journey becomes.